serve God.
Yeah.
By force. You must, like, by force. My dad, we wake up in the morning, the morning devotion. And the funny thing about my life is that in all of these things, I'm the stubborn one in the house, like, that doesn't want to do anything that has to do with, God. I was just pressing towards knowing why my family is this way. Why was I bettered in this kind of a home that has to suffer before we eat? We have to suffer before we pay school fees. They have to send me back from school like almost 10 times before my dad can raise our school fees. That is not even up to 40. So these things were just amazing me and made me more stubborn, because every day I wake up, I'm angry. I'm angry at my dad, I'm angry at my mom, I'm angry at everybody for no reason, But we just learned to trust God. And in all of these things, there was no time we ever thought of, my parents would say, we have one of our children that likes.
Welcome, people of God, to today's devotional channel. If you're new here, please, we'd like you to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. You can also do well to like, share, and comment so that others will get to see this video. God bless.
Firstly, I really want to thank you for the privilege and opportunity to be here. I'm so grateful to God about my life. Sometimes I feel like I have a lot of things to say about myself, a whole movie. If I'm going to put my story in it, act it, it's going to be a lot of seasons, But I'm first grateful for the kind of family God brought me through. God-fearing parents. We grew up seeing our parents love God. My mom, my dad, loving God. Even we were not really rich, we were just there, but I could see that my dad, the foundation of our family was built to trust God. So we all grew watching our parents trusting God. So whether we had or we don't have, we just trust God all areas of our life. So 4 out of 6, and then second boy. I grew up watching my dad struggle, and I ask a lot of questions. I'm somebody that I listen and I observe. So it was normal to some of us in the house. It was just like a normal life where we've grown and we just said, okay, let's just accept that this is where God just wants us to be. This is how God just wants our family to be. But there was something more that I was seeing. To the other people, some of my friends that came from the better family, my dad taught us contentment. So my desire to be better was not coming from a place of I wanted more. But yes, I really wanted more. I wanted to know what is this thing that did not go right that is keeping this family in this situation that we are in, because my dad struggled to pay our school fees. Growing up from a family where we have to eat like once in a day, sometimes twice in a day. If we eat twice in a full day, we have to thank God that the God was really good to us, that day. So my mom, very strong woman. I don't think there's anything in this world my mom has not done. Fry akara, wash clothes, So this is the kind of family I grew up. But in all of these things, we loved God so much. We stayed in a 2-bedroom, room and parlor, face me, I face you. That was how we all grew up, And my early life, because our parents wanted us to, serve God, by force. You must, by force. My dad, we wake up in the morning, the morning devotion. And, the funny thing about my life is that in all of these things, I'm the stubborn one in the house, like, that doesn't want to do anything that has to do with, God. I was just pressing towards knowing why my family is this way. Why was I bettered in this kind of a home that has to suffer before we eat? We have to suffer before we pay school fees. They have to send me back from school like almost 10 times before my dad can raise our school fees. That is not even up to 40. So these things were just amazing me and made me more stubborn, because every day I wake up, I'm angry. I'm angry at my dad, I'm angry at my mom, I'm angry at everybody for no reason, But we just learned to trust God. And in all of these things, there was no time we ever thought of, my parents would say, we have one of our children that likes to steal, or because we don't have. We never had any of these attributes. We were just children that love God genuinely. Wow. But I wanted to know, there is more in this whole thing. Because of, so there was this particular church, my dad was like an assistant to the general overseer. My dad was his PA. So in the children department, I started coordinating the children department at 9, 10. They were already teaching me how to, yes, I had a particular teacher in the school, in our school, children's school, that was already teaching me how to teach other children. Because if you meet me that time, you could feel the zeal. You could feel there was just something burning inside of me, but I didn't know what it was. So I was already teaching in my children department as at 9, 10. So as at 12, it dawned on me that, guy, something has to really happen in this house. So 12, 13, I was already out of my primary school into secondary school, and these struggles were still all around my home. My dad can pray. My dad prays. But nothing is changing. I thought prayer could, if it was by really all those prayer my dad was praying, then my family would have turned around for good. Some of the people I saw my dad served were not even lovers of God. All these big men that my dad goes all around to serve, my dad was into importing and exporting goods out of Nigeria and all. So I just grew up. We all grew up suffering. suffering. The suffering was too much. And then I entered into another dimension of questioning and asking. I was always asking questions about my family. What about your, the village? I started discovering all this foundation, all of these things that went wrong in the system. So I just knew inside of me that something really went wrong in the foundation, but I didn't know what it was. And my dad kept us away from our village. So that's why I'm an Igbo boy, but I cannot speak Igbo. More like that. So yes, so I didn't grow up in the East. I grew up in Lagos. So my dad is the only one that goes to the East and comes back. We see our grandparents when they come to visit us in Lagos. So we didn't really have much of those village life. So that was why I couldn't even tell a lot of things that happened around the family. The family we knew were the big ones that come to the house to visit us. If my dad's telling us about any uncle, there's one my uncle there, there's one uncle there we don't know. But to cut all of those stories short, I just had something burning in me that I needed a change in this family. So it became more stronger when I entered into secondary school. So I was already in JSS2 and we're already having issues with school fees. I would go to school like 2 days. After like 2 days or another 7 days, I'm not in school, come back. So it was affecting my education. So it was pissing me off and I needed to know what's up. And that was how I came in contact with, there was a lady that came to our school from Christ Embassy. She came for an outreach. And then she started talking about the things of the spirit. I needed to know more. I was like, wow,